my friends, I'm Bee and this is Bee's Intuition, and today we're going to do a reading. I want this to be about your most notable or most noticeable qualities, like what jumps out to people. I feel like that will be fun. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Please and thank you, Spirit. What are the collective's most notable or noticeable qualities? Please and thank you. Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I actually really like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you. Eight of Pentacles came out first, and then that was followed by the Eight of Wands. So doubled eight. 888 could even be significant. I'm gonna see if another one comes out. At least one more. Please and thank you, Spirit. What are the collective's most noticeable qualities? Please and thank you. Both of those are really good too. Oh my god, I'm excited. Please and thank you. We got another 8. Are you kidding me? 8 of Cups. 888. That's weird, man. How the heck did they know that? I'm just gonna see if the other 8, which would be the 8 swords. Yeah, we'll see what else comes out. What are the collective's most notable or noticeable qualities? Please and thank you, Spirit. Like maybe just one more. Just one more. Okay, it's not an 8, but it's pretty good. I would say that. Okay. Ooh, this is actually so beautiful, dude. Okay. Okay. The last one that came out was the Judgment card. Beautiful. Also, bottom of the deck was 4 of Swords, and then it started to slide down to reveal another 4. 4 of Cups. 8s and 4s seem to be significant, so just keep that in mind here. Interesting. Okay. So right off the bat, with the 8 of Pentacles, I feel like this is really talking about how hardworking you are, how creative you are. Oh, you spin a web with like, it feels like you have an ability to create your own life, create your surroundings. Like, it feels almost like powerful manifester as well. 8 of Wands, I feel like this talks about you being a good talker. Also, I love how there's like one wand standing out in particular, and it almost looks like it's like smoking, and so it's almost like you really stand out in conversation. You either have things to say that are very unique, or you have like very unique perspectives of things. I love that it's rainbow and the other ones are like black, so like something about your language is very colorful. You may like to use metaphors, analogies, like things that kind of paint a picture in someone's head. I'm also getting, maybe this could even apply to writing as well. You could be a creative writer, or maybe just enjoy writing in general. Something about words, whether that's words within your writing, words within the way that you talk, maybe even your thoughts, the way you think. It's very beautiful, and it really stands out to other people. The 8 of Cups, I'm actually getting you walk away from the things that you realize are not serving you. And sure, that sounds like common sense. Yeah, that sounds like, oh, everybody does that. But no, not everybody does that. Because a lot of the times, those things that we have to walk away from that no longer serve us are things that we either once cared about or still currently care about. So it's not always easy, but you make those difficult decisions even if you don't know where you're going. Like, I feel like this sense of like, I'm not going to stay here and deal with this. I have no idea what else is out there for me. I have no idea where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do, but whatever's out there, got to be better than this. Like, I don't know. Like it feels like self-respect very much. The Judgment card, I honestly feel like this very much talks about like how you don't judge other people, or when you judge people, it's from like a kind energy, an empathetic or sympathetic energy. Like it feels very much like the dove. You have such a sweet kindness about the way in which you view others, the way in which you judge others. Like it's very compassionate and very beautiful and very rare, and it sticks out a lot to people because this is a major arcana. So like this is something that people are like, wow, that is like really unique that that person is so not judgmental, especially because we live in a day and age where so many people are judgmental. And you know, it's semi-ironic because it's like, okay, you know, the person that lives in a glass house shouldn't cast stones, but a lot of people don't really live by that. And you know, people that have the least how do I word that, you know, people that should be judging people the least because they have the most skeletons in their closet are the ones to judge the most. It's funny, but life works like that. But you have this like beauty about the way in which you don't judge people, or the way that you judge them is compassionate, empathetic, very open-hearted. And you see other people's perspectives. I think that's a big part of that as well. And it also kind of speaks to you having some sort of past, because it's like this dove is coming out of the darkness and into the light. So I feel like you have a past that allows you to be so much more empathetic, sympathetic to people's backgrounds, or, you know, the choices that they make, or what leads somebody to make a choice. Like you very much like think about things just differently than a lot of other people do, and it stands out, and it really means a lot, I think, to other people, especially those that crave that feeling of not being judged, or not being judged harshly. Especially because a lot of the time people judge people based off of things that they can't even control. You know, talk about like facial acne, being overweight, their height, maybe they're bald. Like, you know, like there's so many things that people can judge another person on, and it feels like you're just like not like that at all. And it very much is so unique to you, and it stands out a lot. I feel like that's something that people, after they have a conversation with you, they see that in you, and they're just like I feel almost this sense of like feeling almost even changed by having a conversation with you, because it's almost like they didn't even realize that there were people out there that had so much compassion, empathy, sympathy. With the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck, I feel like you take really good care of yourself, or you give off a very much like an air of caring about yourself. So maybe you like to present yourself like more put together, or maybe like when most people see you, you're like looking very put together. And it doesn't even necessarily have to do with like you know, looking a certain way, or wearing makeup, or doing your hair all fancy. It doesn't even have to be that, but like even just like taking like care of yourself. Something about you seems like you care about yourself. Maybe it's like about the foods that you put into yourself. It seems like you care a lot about that. Or like maybe you have a skincare routine that you practice regularly and people can see that, or something. Like it very much gives off like, wow, this person invests in themselves, you know? Also, there's a major intuitive part of this card here. So I think that people can also see that you're spiritual, or that you have like a very heightened sense of intuition. And since the Four of Cups wanted to show itself earlier, because this was starting to slide off, I feel like you have standards, and this is something that people can pick up on. The fact that you have standards for yourself, or your dating life, or the people that you're around. Like you pretty much are very picky and choosy about who you have around you, what you have around you. That could also be significant, what is around you. And I think it stands out because it's very unique. I feel like not as many people are this selective with the energies that they are surrounded by, or allow into their life. So that, I feel like, is something that stands out to a lot of people as well. Okay, let's just start clarifying, shall we? Starting with that Eight of Pentacles. Okay, please and thank you, Spirit. What is this Eight of Pentacles trying to tell us about the collective and their most notable qualities? Please and thank you, Spirit. What do we got for the Eight of Pentacles? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Oh, okay, okay. 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 Damn, okay. So, clarifying that Eight of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Swords, King of Swords, and the Full card. Okay. I love this energy so much. Oh my god. Because what I see here is somebody that had a pretty gruesome ending. At least one, maybe multiple. There's 10 swords in this guy's back, so most likely you've had more than one messy or hard or tumultuous ending. Could have been at least one or more rock bottoms, like that feeling of being like at your lowest. But like, the way in which you are creative and the way in which you work is like, you don't see it though as the end of everything. It's almost like you do see the sun rising in the background. You do see a new dawn rising. Like, and this could even be maybe more of like a new sort of mindset about like how even at your darkest, you know, and at your rock bottom, the only place to go from there is up, you know? Like, even if it's like the worst day you ever had, you're like, at least there's tomorrow to look forward to. And maybe we even start each day with like, okay, what kind of adventures am I gonna do? Or, you know, how can I reinvent myself today? Or how can I, you know, it feels very like open-minded, like optimistic, like it's such a beautiful energy. With the King of Swords, this could have been somebody that was involved, or this could have been your energy coming out of that time. Maybe whatever that challenge was, it could have caused you to be more truthful, more honest, and more of an open communicator, maybe a little bit more serious in some regards, but or maybe it made you serious about your life path or something, like maybe taking your life path or your life in general more seriously. Maybe you had a way in the past where it wasn't as focused, so maybe there's something about you coming into a time of being more focused, maybe more, I'm hearing eagle eye. So like maybe there's something that you want to focus your energy on that is like less scattered even. That could be a message. I'm definitely going to clarify that just to make sure that it's not like somebody else that's involved or whatever. The Fool card, and this is what tells me that you look for that dawn rising, you know, that new dawn rising on the horizon here. You look forward to the new day. And I really do see somebody that, like, yeah, what I was just saying, you know, like no matter how bad today was, there's always tomorrow. And it's like when you rise that next day, like I even get like, I'm so, like, I feel like there's even maybe something about practicing gratitude, because it's like, oh my gosh, I got to wake up today. What a blessing. Or like, I have this new day and there's so many endless possibilities for that. Like it feels just like so warm and full of optimism. Like it's like the possibilities are endless, and that's your mindset. So maybe like, especially if this is something that you've gone through multiple times, like a lot of like, you know, bad, rough endings, but then like you reinventing yourself or rebirthing yourself, recreating yourself. It feels like maybe like you're, ability to adapt gets even stronger. Like the more you go through these challenges, and maybe your optimism grows even more stronger too, because it's almost like you're like, I've been through so much in my past, so I know I got this, whatever it is, even if it turns to crap, I know that there will be a new dawn, and in that new dawn I can reinvent myself, I can recreate myself, I can go about things differently, I can see things from a different perspective. Maybe like even with like lessons that you've learned, like now you are more prepared for those new beginnings as well. Also, 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So if that like 10 of Swords was indicating like a rough situation that you experienced with somebody that treated you badly, I'm getting that it doesn't scare you away from working with others and trusting others and opening up to others. Like it feels like you very much like have some sense of resilience within you that is so unique to you, and it's rare, because like a lot of times, especially if somebody's been through a lot of rough times like that, it can so easily become, oh, this is just what life is, oh, this is just how people treat you, oh, this is just how it is and I gotta deal with it. Like no, like you're like, I am open to learning with others, I'm open to working with others. You don't let your past dictate your future or your present even. Like it feels like you're just like, and like the guy with the cape on that is like polka dotted, the polka dotted like clothing is, I've heard it's supposed to like represent like kind of lightening up and not taking things so seriously, and maybe like finding the silly part of things, or the not so serious part of things. Like it feels very much like you just have this, and it almost feels like you have like this limberness, like you are flexible. Like it's like you're not, yeah, it's like you're flexible within your adaptive abilities. Like it's like you adapt to things and you can bend and twist, and like it feels like you're in a way like a shapeshifter. Maybe people even kind of like think about you in that way. Maybe you like to change your appearance a lot, not necessarily, but like maybe your ways of thinking are constantly changing. It could be anything about that kind of is just like, wow, this person like is either always changing, or I never know what to expect from them, or something along those lines. Because I feel like it feels like a passion for life, a passion for new experiences, a passion for creativity, like looking at things creatively, seeing things from a different perspective compared to how other people see things. And also I feel like whatever you bring into a social group or community or just group of of people in general, like you have things that are important to bring to those dynamics, or groups or whatever, and you have things to say, and you have like ideas that are from a different perspective, and like it stands out to people, and it's important. Like you're supposed to be here so that you share your ideas with the world, especially those ideas that come from the heart, come from a pure place. And it just like it hits people in a way that's just like, wow, I never really thought of it that way, or I never really thought about things like that. And I feel like you're like maybe like even like a trigger moment, like a catalyst almost for like people opening up to spirituality, opening up to like just new ideas in general. Like I feel like you could be that person for a lot of people, because of the way you view things, because of the way you look at the world, the way in which you think about these types of things. It's just like so unique to you, and I feel like people like eat it up. They just want to hear what you have to say, and they want to like see how you do this, or like learn how you do this. Like how can you adapt like this? How are you so flexible? Like how do you just keep it rolling? Like it honestly feels, and especially because this is clarifying the 8 of Pentacles, it almost feels like no matter what you're given within the 3D reality, you will find a way to make it work. It's like, if you're given mud, I've used this analogy before, if you're given mud, you will make bricks. and build a house, like, you know, like, or build something with it, you know, like, it's just like, you have a way about you that is so capable. And it's like, I even feel like a little bit of an undercurrent of, I like to kind of work on my toe. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it feels almost like I kind of enjoy the thrill of having to adapt, or the thrill of having to figure things out in the moment. Like, I feel, maybe you're like somebody that works really well under pressure, or like on the spot or something. Maybe people go to you when they have like stuff to, like, maybe like if they're searching for advice, or if they're searching for someone's perspective of things, or if things are going down. I feel like people love to come to you and be like, what do I do, or what would you suggest, or, you know, because like, it's just like, you've lived it. I think a lot of the time that's why people go to you. It's like, okay, you've either lived that experience, or you've experienced something very close, and people are like, okay, I know who to go to if I have an issue with this or whatever. It's really beautiful. I really like this energy. I'm going to clarify the King of Swords because I'm really curious if this is you or somebody else. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this King of Swords? Please and thank you. Who is this King of Swords in relation to the collective? I have a feeling this is probably you, because this is all about your, like, most noticeable qualities. So if it is you, this King of Swords, I feel like there is, again, something about your communication. Maybe you're a very straightforward person, but I don't see it as a mean straightforward. Oh, that's interesting. Like, it feels honest, but it's also like, maybe like caring, you know, the way in which you communicate things, especially if they're important. I feel like you have a nice way to say things, but you'll get the point across, you know. It's interesting. The King of Swords was clarified by the Three of Cups in the reverse, and then King of Pentacles shows up at the bottom of the deck. I see now. I see. So yeah, if this King of Swords is you, which I feel like it definitely could be, I feel like the Ten of Swords may be indicating connections with others that went really bad for you. Could have been friendship related, could have been relationship related. Definitely people that you were connected to through the heart space. Could have even been family. Or all of them, honestly. It's the Ten of Swords, so it's at least one of those. But it's like, again, it's a beautiful energy, because I honestly, oh my gosh, there's like so many messages I'm getting. For one, I don't even know which one to say first. I just need to get them out there before I forget them. So you didn't let these situations turn you into a King of Swords in the reverse, which is more of like a, you know, a big meanie, I'll just say. You know, yeah, not a good person or a nice person. I don't like to say good or bad, because that's like way too polarizing. And it's so weird to try and sum somebody up, a complex human being, with just like one word like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of using good and bad, but definitely somebody that's not very nice to other people. You didn't let these situations with others turn you bad. I feel like, if anything, maybe you grew some boundaries. Maybe you learned to advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself. especially when it comes to expressing yourself, expressing your opinion. Something about the throat chakra is standing out to me. So maybe you were very shy in the past, or you didn't openly talk about things out of fear or something. But it feels like that has evolved within you. Maybe you did some healing work, and now it's like you are very much in a place of being comfortable expressing yourself and your ideas and your opinions and your maybe even fun facts. You may be somebody that's full of fun facts as well. Anyways, I also am getting the message that because you've experienced such rough situations with others, instead of letting it make you bitter and churn you to be, you know, maybe even antisocial or whatever, I feel like it made you even more compassionate towards others, you know. And it sounds like I'm laughing because it's like it's a rare thing, you know, because, like, you know, I could count, well, I know a lot of people, let's just say, that would use those kinds of situations as an excuse. This is why I'm bitter. This is why I don't do good things for people, or I don't do nice things, or I don't blah, blah, blah. But you're like, no, I want to be a good person. I want to be nice because I know what it feels like to be attacked by others. I know what it's like to be an outsider. I know what it's like to not be chosen. I know what it's like to be attacked for my opinions or my thoughts or whatever. Like, it feels like you very much have a history of being like an underdog or just mistreated. And so you're like, I want to make sure that I do not make people feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know what it's like to either be without friends or be without supports or feel like all of those kinds of supports that you're supposed to have, you know, friends, family, etc. You know what it's like for all of that to turn against you. And maybe you even had moments where you felt like you had no one to turn to. That could have even made you turn to spirit, you know, that feeling of being completely alone. But, like, it's so beautiful because it's like you're just so powerful, and you're like, I want to be a good force. I don't want to be a bad force, because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of that bad force, and I don't want to be a part of it. That's so beautiful and gorgeous, and I just love that energy so much. Especially, it's like, it's just like a breath of fresh air, honestly. Like, there's such a sweetness, kindness, openness, optimism. I feel like you definitely weren't born with this optimistic perspective of things. I think this is something that you definitely built up within yourself. But it's just like, oh, it's so beautiful. It really is. Whew. And then the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, I feel like this is... This is either your future self or the self that you're like coming into, I feel like. And it's very much somebody that's very self-assured, that has like things under control and knows that they got it, you know, knows that they got it. Like, that is what I'm getting. Like, there's a stability, there's a security, there's abundance. Like, there's also like being skilled, but knowing that you're very skilled. And it, you know, his eyes are closed, like he's just chilling, you know, like he's just like, I don't even gotta look around me to know that it's beautiful. You know, like, it's just like, yeah, I know I got it going on. I know I got everything I could dream of and more, like, you know. And he also is the one that has the armor underneath his cloak here, as if to indicate that, well, for one, he has that past of being a fighter, for one. He's used to having to go through some stuff, and so he knows how to hold his own. But also, he's ready for a fight if one should come up, you know? Like, he's ready to go into battle if he needs to. But like, again, there's like this serene calmness as well. So it's like, I'm not gonna willy-nilly fight, you know? Like, I'm not gonna just fight over any little thing. Like, I know that if a moment comes up and I need to, I will. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to fight for things, especially silly things, like superficial things, things that have to do with the ego. Like, it feels very much evolved. This evolved sense of strength and being a fighter. Like, knowing that you have that power within you and you can use it, but knowing that, like, it's the wisdom of knowing what is worth fighting for and what is not. Maybe even if it's just like within that moment. Like, do I really want to fight with this person about human rights? Like, you know, like stuff like that. And it's like, well, if they're arguing about whether or not people should have human rights in the first place, then most likely we're just on different wavelengths. It's gonna be pointless, you know? So it's really about like picking and choosing your battles and having that wisdom and confidence to know what is for you, what is not, what is worth fighting for, what is not, what is worth even wasting your energy or spending your energy, you know, all that. Okay, let's go on to the Eight of Wands now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have to say for that Eight of Wands in terms of what are the collective's most notable or noticeable qualities? Please and thank you, Spirit. Yes. Please and thank you. Yes. Very good. It's not a good show. Am I? Indeed. I have been really called to do British accents recently. And I blame... Okay, I'll stop doing the accent. I have been really called to like doing British accents, but I think it's just because I recently binged like What We Do in the Shadows, and Laszlo from that show just has such a rich British accent that it's just like, I want to have a British accent too. A posh British accent. Anyways, this is so interesting. Okay, so first two that came out, Ace of Cups, Three of Pentacles. We saw the Three of Pentacles earlier. You're definitely a team player here. You also like, and this is all clarifying the Eight of Wands, you have such a loving way in which you communicate. Like, oh my God, your heart is so beautiful and pure. Like, you just have so, like, and I want to continue, for like 3 minutes long. Like, you have so much love in your heart. It feels infinite. Like, it really does. It feels like it's just like forever flowing, that love. Probably a lot of love for your community, a lot of love for the people around you, the people in which you build with, that you work with. Like, like I literally am getting goosebumps right now because it's so freaking beautiful. Especially the community part really hit me hard. Something about you being active in your community, caring about those around you, like really like, oh my God, like, oh my God. And if you're not involved in your local community, maybe this is a sign, because these goosebumps are not leaving. And I do not get cold, or at least not very easily. I'm more likely to sweat, so yeah, this is crazy. Something about working with your community could be very successful for you. Like, maybe even if you don't go into it with an idea for like profit or whatever, maybe like a volunteer opportunity turns into a career. Like, it feels almost like something like that. Like, you, I hate to say you need to do something because only you know what you need to do, but I would just highly suggest, recommend, if you are called to work with your community, work with a community, work with the people that are around you, like in your like local area, like it feels like that is gonna make such a huge impact. Maybe even like the collective. So maybe even if it's not directly related to your surroundings, maybe it's like you going online, sharing your opinions, and like those opinions need to be heard because they're from a place of so much love and compassion, and it's like it's so necessary for people to hear that or something. Also, that was followed by the Hierophant. Oh my gosh. So literally what I was just saying. I didn't even it didn't click until like now. But I feel like a lot of people look up to you. A lot of people look at you as somebody that is very experienced, wise, that knows what to do. Like, I don't know why, but like there's something about like people go to you when they don't know where to go, what to do. And it's so funny because it's almost like, maybe from your perspective you don't even know what to do, but like just the way in which you like have conversations with people pulls out the answer out of that other person. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's almost like you help people find the answer. It's not like necessarily that you're giving them the answer, but rather like, how do we find the right answer for you? Like, it's and you don't do it in that way. Like, it's not so obvious, but it's just the way in which you talk to people. It's like, okay, so like, I don't know, I can't think of a good example, but like, you know, like maybe somebody, yeah, like in those moments of like, I don't know what to do. A lot of the times we do know what we need to do or what to do, but we're afraid, or we feel like that's not good enough, or we feel like, you know, there's some sort of hang up. And a lot of times it's our ego getting in the way of those types of things. And so maybe you have a way of talking to people that helps them get outside of their ego, not be so attached to maybe the opinions of others. Like, it's just like this wisdom. I don't even know. Like, it's literally like you just help people find the answers within themselves, and it's so empowering and it's so important. So like, literally, if you like, yeah, like again, I'm getting like spiritual teacher, like, yeah, maybe just like going online, sharing your opinions from a place of empathy, sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences can help people find their way. It really does feel like that. I also feel like there's a way of like, like something about you being the key that unlocks the door to a whole nother life or something, or another phase of life. Like, it feels so significant. And then the Hanged Man came out. You're somebody that's clearly very enlightened, and I think it's because you've been through so many situations and you've had to find a way to maybe think outside the box, to get yourself out of those situations, or those situations caused you to see things from a different perspective and see how, you know, maybe have like takeaway lessons from certain situations, even those that are really crummy, you know? Ooh, this just got really interesting, because the next card that came out was the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and I was like, that's so interesting that it came out in the reverse. And I almost was like, maybe that's not what was supposed to come out. Maybe it was supposed to come out upright, but I'm getting, especially with that Hanged Man, he's upside down. So if he's looking at this Ten of Pentacles, it's right side up. And if you're this Hanged Man here, seeing things from a different perspective, this is literally such a beautiful freaking message. Oh my god. You see either like the secret to success in life. Oh my gosh, it's literally making me so emotional because like, this is so freaking beautiful. Because it's like anybody else that comes across this Ten of Pentacles, if they're not in the Hanged Man position, they're not going to see it upright. So they're not going to see the value. And I feel like it's beautiful because like, I don't even know how to articulate this, but it's like you have either the secret to success in life or the secret to happiness in life, like true happiness, or like Maybe like you know what is going to give you the most out of life. And it may not even be literally like your literal, I don't even know how to say this. Like it's like, it may not even be, because the Ten of Pentacles, we kind of get the idea of like being surrounded by wealth or, you know, riches, endless riches and abundance like that. But it almost feels like, especially because the way in which you personally see it, like it's very specific to the way you see things. And so it's almost like, even if what you do doesn't pay well, or maybe you're not right now seeing the payoff of something, it's either the way in which you see the world grants you all of that like abundance and contentment for yourself, like within you. And I feel like maybe other people even have like some sort of misconception about the things you do. Maybe, you know, you have people that are judging you. Maybe like what you choose to do for work. People are like, well, why are you at that job when you could go to this job and it pays like twice as much? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that's not why I do it though. Like it feels very much like whatever it is that you do and whatever it is that you're striving for in life, it's so unique to you. And only you can truly see the true value in it. But I feel like that's what makes it the most, like the most positive option for you. Because you feel fulfilled by it. You feel like it's everything for you. And you don't, like it feels like you very much are in a position where you don't need other people's validation. And I don't think you seek it. And I don't think that you truly care if people are like judging you. And, you know, because I think you have this evolved sense and spiritual perspective where it's like you see rather that people, when they're judging you, they're coming from a place of ego. And I feel like you very much kind of stepped outside of your ego for a good amount of the time. And so it's like, yeah, you may not see it as a Ten of Pentacles because it's in the reverse, but I see it as a Ten of Pentacles upright, you know? Like it's a Ten of Pentacles to me, it may not be for you. Because like, you know, what works for me doesn't always work for somebody else. But it makes me happy. So yeah, I'm gonna stay with it. I don't care if you think that it pays, if it doesn't pay well, or if it doesn't give me notoriety, or if it doesn't make me famous. Like, I don't care. It's what makes me happy. It's what gives me fulfillment. It's what makes me feel secure, stable, content. And that's enough, you know? It's really so, oh my gosh, that message was so beautiful. Because it's like literally, like it's like through your eyes, you see things so differently. And you have this way of going towards the things that you want and not caring if people are like, really? You're gonna do that? Because you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like, I almost even feel like you have this sense of like, life is too short to care about what other people think. Life is too short to, you know, listen to every person that's going to criticize every little thing I do. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm just going to do whatever the hell makes me happy. Like, it really does feel like that. Like, you just have such a unique perspective of these types of things. It's so freaking beautiful. I love it. Oh, that's so freaking beautiful. Also, the Page of Swords came out and the Two of Cups. So, ooh. So, again, communication is coming up. I feel like you have a very curious mind. So that could be like within conversations, you just like to talk to other people, learn about like their perspectives of things. But also there's like a curiosity for information, maybe a thirst or a hunger for learning. I love that. But there's also like this reserved element to you. I almost see you observing something or someone, maybe from a distance. you may have a very, this is going to sound kind of silly, I think, but it's almost as if you like observing humans and human things, or like humans doing human things. Maybe, yeah, maybe you just are curious, how does the mind work? How do people make the decisions that they do? Like, it feels like you just have this, maybe like an unquenchable thirst for learning about others, learning about how the world works, learning about like how people do the things they do, why they do that. Like, it's just, I don't know. Your mind is such a beautiful thing. It feels very much like a sponge. I feel like you just soak up things. And then if they come in handy later, you can use them for like certain things. Like, oh yeah, once I talked to this person who went through a similar situation and this is what they did. Like, you know, it's just like you have such a, it feels like a huge library in your mind. Like, I literally am getting like Beauty and the Beast, like going into that huge like room with all the books and everything. Like, endless, like an almost, yeah, it feels almost like an endless library. And that's probably why people come to you too, because it's just like, okay, they're very knowledgeable, they know a lot of things, I'm sure they're gonna at least have some idea what I should do with this situation or something. Like, it's just, your brain is, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous because it's just so open. Like, even though you are this beautiful teacher, spiritual teacher, guide, whatever, with that Hierophant that we had earlier, you are a teacher, you are wise, you have knowledge, and you can disperse that knowledge very easily. And if you wanted to, you could solely embody that energy. But it's like that student within you never died. And it never will, I don't think. Because that's just how you are. You're like, yeah, I know a lot of things, but I also don't know a lot of other things. And so you're like, I'm always open to learn more. I'm always open to learn a new thing. I'm always open to learn things that I don't know, or, you know, misconceptions I had. Like, you're just so open. And I think maybe that is what makes you such a truly powerful teacher. Again, goosebumps. It's so impactful. Like, it's literally like, oh, your energy is just so beautiful. I love it. And with the Two of Cups, like, this is giving me so many freaking downloads and messages. Like, oh my gosh, all of these cards are just like speaking to me. For one, I think that, oh my gosh, again, your beautiful heart is definitely a huge part of this. Like, you are very kind, very down to earth, very like, loving. But I feel like also there's like this equality, equity, like, it's just like you get down to other people's level and you look them in the eye and you see them as an equal and not as somebody beneath you. Like, even if you're teaching, it's like you just have a way of relating to people, of really speaking to them as an individual. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like, you literally, I feel like you see yourself a lot in other people too, especially younger people. You may be like, oh my gosh, you're like me 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever. You know, it's just like, wow, you really remind me a lot of myself. Like, I feel like that could even be a part of this. Like, there's just something about, you see the humanity in people. You see that inner child in people. You see yourself in people. Like, you literally, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And again, it's so impactful for those that you speak to, those that you teach, those that you learn from. Like, literally, you make such a huge impact in the world, whether you see this or not. But yeah, it's so much about like being equal with somebody. You never speak down to people. You're never patronizing or condescending. You're never like a know-it-all, like, I know the answer, you don't. Like, you're definitely not that kind of person. you just like have this way of looking somebody in their eye and being like, I truly see you and you're safe with me. Like, that's a whole nother part too, is like you give people a feeling of feeling safe. And I feel like almost like a sense of home, you know? You probably feel like home for a lot of people. And I feel like some people really need that. That feeling of just feeling safe for just even just a moment. Feeling secure for even just a moment. Feeling comfortable for even just a moment. Like, it literally, it doesn't matter if you speak to somebody for one, like, quick minute or for the rest of your life. You make so much of an impact. Like, you could literally say one sentence, one word to somebody, and it still makes a heavy impact, but in the best way possible. Not heavy as in bad, but like heavy as in, whoa, what just hit me? Like, that was like, wow. Again, it's so incredibly unique to who you are and how you see things, how you think about things. Like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Also, there is like a good amount of like love and romance, like energy with some of these cards. So I'm thinking that also people see you, I think, as an ideal partner. Like, you know, honestly, your heart alone could be enough for a lot of people because you just have such a pure heart, such a kind, giving heart. But, you know, all of these other qualities as well make you a very perfect partner, or at least in a lot of people's minds. So you may be like very much people's ideal type, or people may get crushes on you very easily. Like, maybe even after just one conversation, they're like, oh my God, who the heck was that? Like, did I just meet my soulmate? Like, that's kind of like the feeling that I feel like a lot of people walk away with. Absolutely gorgeous. Bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. So yeah, all of these kings I feel like are you, and it's just because you're so much of a boss. Oh, you're just so incredibly powerful. And I feel like also it's interesting that like all of the kings have been kind of showing their faces in this reading so far. And so it's like you've had so many learned experiences from all different areas of life and different situations, and it's helped you gain power and respect from others. That's definitely here for sure. There's like, with this King of Wands specifically, there is a lot of passion to you. I feel like you may be very passion driven, or maybe the things that really like stick out to you, or what you go towards or something. It feels almost even like an advocate of some sort. Maybe you like to advocate for other people or something. Those that have been disenfranchised and mistreated or something. Because I feel like, you know, the wands, you know, deal with the heart space as well. And so it's like, I feel like there is something about what speaks to your heart helps kind of ignite that passion or that fire within you. Yeah. And there's so much confidence and self-assuredness, especially with all of the kings that have been showing up. And so through your journey, I feel like over time you've been gaining this confidence. You've been gaining this feeling of knowing yourself, knowing like how you're gonna do things, or I don't know, it's just like very much a strong power of like your knowledge of self. And I feel like a lot of people can it's not even that they necessarily don't know themselves, but rather they're not tapped into knowing themselves, you know? Because I feel like, well, there's a quote from my favorite show, Lark Rise to Candleford, which I bring up all the time. I'm so sorry for anybody that's annoyed of hearing about it, but there is a quote from that show. And a character named Twister Turtle is speaking to somebody, and something he didn't know was brought to his attention. And he kind of felt like a dummy because he was like, oh, it's so obvious. How did I not know this? But he said that his father once told him that before a man can know, he has to be willing to know. And that, I love that quote because it's so true, right? Because I feel like we can be given all of the tools in creation to help understand ourselves. But it takes us wanting that information, us being curious, us wanting to learn. Like all of that is so necessary. Like we have to want it first before that information becomes clear, before that information becomes understandable. Before we ever use that information or use those tools, we have to be willing. And we have to want it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people struggle with knowing themselves. And it causes, I think, a lot of insecurity. But you don't have that problem, I don't think. And I'm not saying like that as you always are confident or whatever, because nobody is always confident. We all have our moments, but you definitely don't. There's just a certainty you have about your knowledge of self that is unshakable. Whether you feel confident or not, like it's very much there and stable, like a rock. Okay, let's go on to the Eight of Cups now. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify that Eight of Cups as to what are the most notable or noticeable qualities about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Yes, with the Eight of Cups, what are you trying to say? Alrighty. What else for that Eight of Cups? Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Please and thank you, Spirit. Oh my goodness. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Clarifying that Eight of Cups. We got the Six of Wands. You're going to be known for leaving things behind. You could be known as somebody that leaves things behind. But like not a bad way. Like this is something that people love about you. They celebrate you for it. And like I was saying earlier, that Eight of Cups is all about leaving behind what does not fulfill you any longer. Going towards the things that do fulfill you. And like I said earlier, that's very difficult because a lot of the time, those things that no longer fulfill us are things that we have attachments to. But you make those difficult decisions. You face the unknown with a certain determination. Okay, I'm getting autobiography. That word just popped into my head for no reason, but I feel like that's probably saying that you could literally write an autobiography about your life experiences and maybe become famous for it. Like literally, I'm not even joking here. Like if you added that to your autobiography, like that will be inspiring to others. People would be like, how the hell did you do that? Or, oh my God, that person did the damn thing. Isn't that freaking cool? Excuse me. Like literally, I think that your story, like your life story is probably one of the most interesting things. I was getting writing at the very beginning of this reading that somebody out there could be a writer. If you're planning on making an autobiography, the goosebumps, they're coming back. I think somebody out there is making an autobiography because that seems like, oh my God, oh, okay. I don't know. I think that that could be very successful for somebody out there. Even if it's just like you, like it doesn't even have to be a complete autobiography, like I was born on the, like it doesn't have to be like all that. But maybe just like even just a book that expresses what you've learned throughout a lifetime could literally inspire so many people people would celebrate you and be like, oh my gosh, this book changed my life. That's literally what I'm getting. Because like, look at all those people in the background. They're so thrilled that this guy is there. Like literally, I see you like showing up to sign your... Hello, my friends. Different everything. Because my phone died while I was outside and I had to rush home and charge it as good as I could for X amount of minutes before, well, let's just say I'm back. So my last thing I was saying was, with the Six of Wands, an autobiography, that's what it was. And I was seeing like a line at a bookstore waiting for you to autograph your book, and like a lot of people that say that it changed their lives. And then I was getting with this card here, Ace of Swords. I think it cut out before I could show you. The Ace of Swords also came out in the Strength card. And so with the Ace of Swords, it's like very much like your mind, your brain is amazing and so creative. The ideas that you get are completely, well, a lot of them could be like divinely guided. But I was actually getting, you know, when it comes to this autobiography, you don't even necessarily have to, because there's a type of book, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's pretty much like somebody takes their life story but changes details to it, so it's like sort of fiction but not really kind of thing. So I was going to suggest that if you have this sort of idea in mind of writing an autobiography or something, but maybe you're not sure like how, you know, the people that are closest to you may react to that, you could change certain details. And I was going to use the example of my favorite show, Lark Rise the Candleford, because it started out as a novel or novel series. And so as far as I know, the author wrote it about her own life experiences, but changed the details of like towns, names, and stuff like that. So that's always an option as well. And it would allow you to use your creativity, which we had the creativity with that Eight of Pentacles at the beginning of the reading. But yeah, like definitely lean into any sort of ideas, especially if they're creative, because it could be very, very, very successful for you. And I just think that your story in general is going to inspire so many people. Maybe even help them become creative, help them do similarly or do what's right for them personally. The Strength card, you know, when this is all clarifying the Eight of Cups. So the Strength card here is really indicating the amount of strength that it took for you to make these difficult decisions, leave behind the things that no longer serve you, go towards the things that will serve you. I think your spirituality was a really big part of that, because it feels like you're so connected to the divine. And maybe the divine, spirit, the universe, told you that this was so necessary because you were meant for more. There was like a bigger plan for you. And maybe a part of you even knew that. Maybe your higher self within, something within you told you that you were meant for so much more. And, you know, even if you didn't see it on the horizon, even if you had no idea where you were headed, it's like you knew that you were worth more than whatever those situations were. Those situations that were draining you, those situations that were no longer serving you. And yeah, people see you as a success. Whether you are experiencing this success right now or not, I feel like people just gain through the things you do, through your energy that you show up in. You are going to be successful. You have the strength, you have the capabilities, you have the brain for it. You have everything it takes for you to become a success, and that's what people see about you. Truly. And they find that so inspirational. Your story will change other people's lives. It will. At the bottom of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. So, I feel like this is also a big part of why people see you as successful, because you know how to take the opportunities that are provided to you, offered to you, or what have you, and you know how to make those opportunities grow or become something that is worth having. You have like this outlook that is very optimistic and full of hope. And I feel like you really do have this ability to see the potential in things, the potential that maybe not everybody else can see. And I feel like that makes you incredibly, like a very special person. I'm getting artist. I don't know why, but that's coming to mind. Yeah, something like maybe you're just very artistic. Maybe your creativity comes out in like art forms, whether that be dance, singing, painting, the performance arts. You know, like there's so many different types of ways to express yourself creatively and artistically as well. So I feel like it's just so specific to the way in which you see things that makes them valuable. It's very beautiful. Okay, let's go on to that judgment card, please, and thank you, Spirit. What do we got for that judgment card, please, and thank you, Spirit? Judgment card, please, thank you, Spirit. Anything else? Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Woo! Okay. So clarifying the judgment card, we have the Four of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Ten of Cups, okay, Page of Cups, and then bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands, so double confirmation for Eight of Wands. Yeah, your communication is definitely very much highlighted. Also, as I was just picking this up, it started to show me the Seven of Wands underneath. So you're a person that is known for being a fighter as well, or knowing how to fight, when to fight, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so with that Four of Pentacles, I feel like you have this past of clinging to certain things, maybe unhealthy mindsets or unhealthy environments or people, connections to others. Like it feels like you may have been the type to hold on to these things, cling to them, and you know, part of that is a lack mindset, so maybe you did feel like you weren't going to receive anything better, but through that you were also very closed off to any new opportunities because you were holding on to those old things that may have not actually been serving you that much. But I feel like you realize this about yourself. You realize the ways in which you were holding yourself back and closing yourself off to new opportunities. And with the Six of Swords, I see you very much making that decision and taking that action to go outside of that, to make those, yeah, this is very similar to the Eight of Cups, about like moving away from something and moving towards something else. In this case, it's very much about like moving out of a place that had no hope into a place that has way more hope. Something that you see as being or having way more potential for growth, expansion, all the good things. And you know, it definitely started with your mindsets, that change. It started with your mindsets and then it affected your reality. The Ten of Cups. This is such a beautiful card to come out because it's also in this storyline, it's kind of telling me this story here about how each step, it leads you to this 10 of Cups here. You're happily ever after. And the thing about this, you know, it's so often used as a romantic happily ever after, but I really see this as you just being able to find your complete happiness, whether that's within yourself, within your environment, or with somebody else. Honestly, I think, yeah, it starts with all within, you know, and I think that you find that happiness within yourself, within your life, and you know how to make things beautiful. You know how to make things happy and loving and bright. I think that there's a lot of brightness that you bring with you. Maybe you have very bright ideas. I feel like that's so often used sarcastically, but I feel like there's something there about you having like very refreshing, beautiful ideas. I also see this as a big manifestation sort of thing. I feel like you picture your future, how you want it to be, and when you stay within that mindset, when you stay within that path, like maybe you just like keep your eyes on the prize, and it feels like it follows, it follows you. It becomes your reality. I think you're going to achieve everything that you want out of life. And I think it all starts because of your brain, the way in which you've reprogrammed your brain, even the ways in which you've made those changes, the ways in which you see things more optimistically and full of hope. You see that potential, untapped potential. You have like a keen eye for seeing that. Yeah, and I feel like this kind of is what the Judgment card was really speaking about, like that darkness that you came out of into the light. I feel like you probably had multiple moments in your life where you had that dark moment and you had to make that decision to move out of the dark into the light. And then with the Page of Cups, this is really telling me that you make the magic happen. Like, I feel like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you make the magic happen. Like, it's almost like, it feels like if somebody else was given every opportunity that you've been given, if somebody else was given the tools in which you've gained, the resources, the supports, all of that stuff, if somebody else was given the same exact thing, it's like they would not be able to create the things that you can create. It really is your special spark that makes these things become reality. It's literally how you see things that gives them value, like literally. Oh my gosh, that's like coming in so strong. It's how you view things that gives them their value. How you see things. Like, you literally see the potential in things that nobody else sees. And you are the one to bring those potentials out in other people, in opportunities, in environments. Like, literally everything that you touch turns to gold is another message. But like, yeah, like literally you have the golden touch. Like, you have this way of working with things that makes them so incredibly, like, it's almost like, you know, it's almost like when like celebrities, you know, like say a celebrity touches something or owns something for a period of time, and then on eBay it gets sold for like $1 million or something, and it's not even something that's like that big of a deal, but because it's like, oh, this cup was Madonna's or something, I don't know, I can't think of any celebrities. But you know, like, and it sells for like $1 million, even though it's like a cup that you could buy at Walmart. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like that's almost like how people see the things that you touch. It's like they're so much more valuable because you're the one that touched them first or something. I'm just saying. That's like something that's very clear here. It's like you literally give things value. In the eyes of other people, at least. But I also think in the reality, honestly. Like, you just have that way about you that just makes things magical, makes things happen, makes things valuable. Like, literally, there's so many ways in which you make these things come true. You make these things richer. You make them more luxurious. Like, literally, it's like you upgrade things because of the way in which you see them and the way in which you interact with them. And it's so specific to you. This is what people see. That you're magic. And you make it happen. Even if it looks impossible. Because I feel like a lot of the things that you do, people think are like impossible. Like, no way you're going to do that. And then you do it. And it's like the proof is in the pudding here. I feel like there's another message with this 8 of Wands. The way in which you come at challenges, the ways in which you come at situations, it's new, it's fresh, it's invigorating. It's like so different, so new, so necessary. And I feel like people follow suit. People follow your lead. They are very much inspired and motivated by the things that you do. I also feel like you have a way of explaining things that makes it so clear-cut and understandable to even people that don't even know what the heck you're talking about. You know what I mean? You just have a way of explaining things. You have a way of like articulating things, and it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense to somebody that doesn't even know anything about that subject. Do you know what I mean? Like, you make things accessible to others as well. That's like a big part of it. Yeah, because it's not like you, yeah, that's what it is. Like, you're not just like holding on to your magic and hiding it from the world and being like, it's only for me, ha 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 ha. You're very much like, no, like, my magic is also within you and within you and within you. Like, you literally don't keep it a secret. You let people know your process, and therefore they feel more empowered to go out there and do it for themselves. Because everybody has that magic within them. They just need to tap into it. Yeah, yeah. I really do feel like there's like a blueprint or like a map. Like, literally, you set the example. Yeah, you're truly like the first of your kind is what I'm getting. Like, you literally do the thing, and then everybody else is like, that's the way you do it. Like, you're going to literally inspire so many people throughout your lifetime. You're going to motivate people. You're going to help these people tap into their inner power, their inner magic. Like, it's like dropping a pebble into a pond. Like, it's literally gonna just do that rippling effect and affect so many people, affect so much, but in the most beautiful ways possible. Like, literally. Like, your impact in this world is so important. And that's why I had to come home and finish this reading, because I knew that this reading was gonna be good. And it is. And it was. So, that's the reading, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you resonated at all to this, wait, what do I usually say? I don't know. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that it resonated. If it resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you next time I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.